Everyone, so I'm going to repot this Masdevallia today. It's a Masdevallia, I think Falcon Sunrise. Yeah, that's what it is. I got this at Looking Glass Orchids a while ago, and I just, first of all, I double potted it because I heard that's a thing people do to keep extra humidity. I might just leave it like this from now on, but I think that it hates either being double potted or being in sphagnum moss. This specific plant, at least, not all Masdevallias, but it might have been the double potting thing, but I want to put it in some this is Orchids bark, and it's the really fine grade. I've been using it in a lot of stuff recently, and it's just really good quality stuff. It's the fine mix, so I'm gonna put it in that, and hopefully it just does well, because I don't think it likes what it's in right now, or I don't know, maybe it's just too much moss. So I'll do like a mix of moss and bark. So I'm gonna have to unpot this really quick. It's really simple. There's a big hole in the bottom, so I can just poke it up. And I'm just gonna pull off a lot of the moss around its root system, and I don't want to bore you guys with that, so I'll be back. I was correct to assume that it didn't like what it was in, because these are its roots and they're really almost all dead. The ones that were down in the sphagnum moss are more dead. The ones that were up in the air a little bit more alive, they're plumper. So I think this plant did need a little bit more of an airy medium. So I think the bark will do pretty good for it. I'll mix in a little bit of this old sphagnum moss. Some people say to not use old media and stuff. The thing is, it's from the same plant and it's not really broken down. It's still like put together. Some of it's broken down, but most of it's fine. So I'm gonna use a little bit of that in the mix. I'm gonna use this bowl down here to make my mix in. I'll just throw some of this in here. I'm gonna get some of the bark now and mix it on in there. I think this is what my final mix is just gonna be. It's gonna be some bark and some sphagnum moss. I think it might like that a little bit better. I might put a big rock in the bottom because it looks like this. Yeah, I'm gonna get a big rock. Okay. Got a big rock. It's covering up the bottom, but there's still like plenty of room around that, you know? I'm gonna put some in there before I do anything. This plant has always given me the roughest time, and it's just sometimes pretty annoying. Because it's just always like wilted. And you'd say that's like from lack of water. I think it's because there are no roots, because it hates its media. Lack of water, yeah, from no roots. But I think I can fix that using this kind of barkish mixture. Get out some of that sphagnum moss. I don't want too much in there. I think if the sphagnum moss was just too packed hard in there, you know? So it didn't really like that, because these roots aren't, okay, the way I look at it, thicker roots really, no, there are some exceptions, but something that I've heard before is that thicker roots really need a thicker medium, and that is true to some extent, like a more airy medium. Then there's also like cymbidiums, and they have some fat roots, and I don't know, they're in dirt pretty much. So I don't know, I guess there are your exceptions if you're like told that it's a terrestrial, but I mean, if they're epiphytic, I think that's normally the general rule. But really, you just have to know your plants. Like I just know with this plant, it probably would like a airier medium. Also because like the water, when you're watering this, sometimes it just kind of sits on top, so it really needed a new medium. Just staking it in right now. There's a piece of bark that it got stuck on. There we go. And I'm gonna put this one right through the middle. Right there is just fine. I'm gonna top this off with a with some more bark and push it in and stuff. I'm pretty much done, but this isn't my only Masdevallia, and considering it doesn't like me, I don't think I'm good with Masdevallias, but I have had it for at least 6 months, and it's not dead, it's just not doing great. And I think that's most orchids, not most orchids, but the ones that a lot of people struggle with, that's really what it's like for me, is it's like, they normally die around the year mark. They don't ever thrive for me. They just kind of always are shriveled. But I'm really, really trying to just expand what I know and what I grow. Because, you know, I'm in an orchid society. And people are always talking about stuff that I just don't really know much about. And I feel so dumb. And if it's not that, then I don't know, I'm thinking of doing something in the judging stuff, because while it is really just judging flowers, it is good to know about the actual plants themselves too, because in case you guys didn't know, you probably won't unless you're from my society, but in North Carolina, the judging center is up in Asheville right now, but soon they're moving down to Charlotte, which is where I live. So the judging center is being moved pretty much to my city. So I might do a judger's apprenticeship or something like that, what it's called. Someone in my society has invited me to it. I haven't taken them up on it yet, but I might soon, since it's being moved down here. And I just think it'd be good to expand my knowledge on all orchids, and that's why I bought a Masdevallia, because number one, I think they're pretty cool, and number two, I just don't grow any, and I want to grow new things, which is also why I got that Fragmentidium and why I got that Cymbidium. And I think that I am done. This is our finished product. Now, obviously, these plants love moisture, so I'm gonna have to be watering this maybe every 2 days in this new bark mix, because it used to be in sphagnum moss and it was wrinkly because it didn't have any real roots or anything. I'm gonna throw all this in the trash, but yeah, I hope that this does well for me. So Masdevallias, I only have one, and I'd really like to keep it alive. And if I can keep it alive, then I might just get another one. I can't get this name tag in. I want to try different ones. I think this is a warmer growing one. I can't do cooler growing ones just because we have very hot summers here. They get like 90, most days are between 90 to 97, really. It doesn't get above 97, but that's most days. Most days get to that, and in the greenhouse sometimes it's hotter, even though I have 2 fans a blowing and everything's just wide open. It gets hotter in there, it really does. So I can't grow any cool growers. Should I double pot it again? I'll double pot it, but I won't put in like the sphagnum moss to hold it in place, because I feel like that was my #1 mistake. Tell you what, I don't even need new rocks to put it in its place. It's already in there. Why make it weirder? Yeah, so double potted, easy way. Don't even have to like stabilize it or anything. Okay, so this is the idea. So right there's the inside pot. If you can see that, it's kind of slanted. There's the inside pot, and then there's the outside pot, and the outside pot will kind of like increase humidity in the pot and around the plant. So hopefully that works, and it's not just like some weird myth I heard from a couple people. Goodbye, everyone. I will see you in the next one. Voila. Bye-bye.